Hi guys, so Tim and James from Revolution back again. Following on from our last sort of important announcement video, we thought it'd be a good idea to come back and answer a few of the sort of regular questions that we're getting at the moment regarding the future of the park. So we thought I'd say we'd do a video so we can answer it all at once and give you all a bit more information. So one of the biggest questions, will the park be coming back? Short answer is absolutely yes. You know, we're very committed and motivated to sort of coming back, rebuilding, and you know, after we get past this issue with the trees and coming back in the future, might take a little bit of time. You know, the slightly longer answer and why, you know, we can't sort of give clear sort of plans and dates and things like that. You know, there's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of things we've got to figure out. And that's just going to take a little bit of time. So, you know, short answer, yes, we're coming back. Long answer, we've just got to still figure a few things out to be able to confirm dates and things like that.
And we have an amazing opportunity to rebuild the park. You know, obviously with the news that a lot of felling work is going to happen, you know, a lot of the trails are, you know, going to take a hit. We're going to try our hardest to save some of the bigger ones like Vision and, you know, the 50-1 line. You know, we're working with the foresters to try and, you know, limit the damage on them. Yeah, some of the other main trails will obviously be damaged and there's nothing really we can do about that, but I'm kind of seeing that now as an opportunity to rebuild. You know, what really does excite me is having a blank canvas, not having the limitation of the trees around us to start with, and actually building again some of the main trails we've got. I think about, you know, when we first started this, it was a long time ago, and we really didn't have as much knowledge as we do now to start building some of them new some of the main trails we have and rerouting them and building new stuff with everything, the knowledge we have now. You know, it's an amazing opportunity. And then actually to be able to replant a forest up around the trails is, yeah, a really good, exciting opportunity. You know, I'm looking at more of obviously a long term till we get back to where we are, but you know, we do have an amazing opportunity in front of us to build something way bigger and better than what we have now.
So there's been a lot of questions about, you know, the decision to sort of close and whether or not we could just sort of carry on after the tree work. It's a difficult question to answer, and there's a lot of unknowns. You know, our primary concern, as we said in the original video, was that regardless of sort of the damage and time to rebuild, the forest is very key to what we offer here in terms of riding. It provides a lot of weather protection, which allows us to run consistently throughout the year. And in order to be a sort of viable business and a viable bike park, we need to be able to run consistently over the year. So I've sort of broken this down into two questions in terms of, you know, when will we be able to actually have some riding back on the hill? And there's possibility that next year, next summer, we might do a few bits and bobs, some jam days, one-off uplifts, one-off riding days. This is not just guaranteeing that we're going to be doing that, but there is potential to do that kind of thing. The bigger question, obviously, from the bike park's perspective is, you know, when can it return to sort of full operation as it is right now, where it can be a sustainable, sort of viable business that can support itself and support the staff, and you know, we're confident that we can run it long term. And that's the bit that's going to take a little bit longer. You know, if we end up, you know, we lose a few weekends a year to the snow, and that's kind of expected, and we kind of just budget that into the business. Obviously, we hope to lose less, but it's expected every year that's going to happen. You know, if we end up losing lots and lots of days, it can be a real problem, and it can put the business in real jeopardy, and we can't kind of take that risk to a certain extent. Particularly when, you know, and I think James, you'd agree with this, you know, without the trees there, what we're going to be offering on that hill is not going to be the same as what we're offering now. It's not going to be at the same level. And, you know, we've always been, you know, we've not got the best facilities, we've not got the best toilets, we've not got all that kind of stuff, but we've always tried to make sure that the riding is spot on, and James and his team have, in my opinion, you know, knocked that out of the park. And if we can't even offer that, you know, my kind of take is, why do we, you know...
We're concentrating our energy on a longer more sustainable, bigger future. And unfortunately, that really isn't going to happen in the next couple of years on a big scale. We want to get back bigger and better than what we are now, and something that, you know, can be used by my children and other people's children, and, you know, be a facility that's going to make a real difference to people. You know, that's what we're concentrating our energy on at the moment. So, you know, that's how it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it takes a little bit of time to do that, you know, and we are, like I said, committed to doing that. You're just going to sort of bear with us for a little bit while we figure out the exact road to that. Had a few suggestions about, you know, maybe whether we might move to a different forest. You know, one thing we can confirm that, you know, when we come back, it will be here. You know, the family own this forest. You know, we bought it specifically to do this. You know, it would be financially prohibitive for us to procure another piece of land, and even if someone was to offer us a piece of land, the cost of building there would probably not be worth it, given that, you know, we would always want to come back to this forest in the future.
Yeah, like we said before, we've got an opportunity here to design this forest around the bike tracks. You know, it's an amazing opportunity that I don't know of any other place that's been able to do that. Normally you'll go in somewhere and you work around what's there. You know, we have an opportunity to do it the other way around. You know, go in, build new tracks, build everything we need, and then replant the trees that we want for a longer sustainable future around them tracks. And, you know, we're working with a forestry manager now, and he's coming up with lots of different options, you know, ways that we can different species that we can plant around the tracks to get more cover quickly, you know. So unless there was somewhere really hot and nice with decent surf and sailing and a mountain right there, I can't see we're going to move anywhere. This is our home. You know, we love this village, and, you know, that hill has been so much for us, been everything for us for, you know, time now. So I kind of feel like there's another chapter.
Yeah, I mean, this is Revolution Bike Park. You know, whilst we maybe could replicate it elsewhere, you know, this is always going to be our number one priority. So I think, you know, like I say, to answer that, we're coming back, and we're coming back here.
And we got the best dirt on earth. So.
Definitely. In the last video, we gave a little bit of information about the sort of specifics of the tree disease, but not very much. Obviously, it was a fairly short video, so there's been lots and lots of different questions about the tree disease. So we just want to answer a sort of few of them in one sort of section. I think the first one is sort of, you know, how did it get here? Some people might be aware that, you know, we've always had a clean bike policy here, because this tree disease can be transported in mud that's on bikes, and that's, you know, generally for mountain bikers, that's a lesson we all should carry with us, is that taking mud from one forest to another or from one land to another can be a problem, so we should always clean our bikes as best we can between uses. But that's not what we think has happened here. You know, we've been managing that for 10 years, and people have been really good about it, and that, you know, we've had no issues with it. Around 2 years ago, we learned that this disease was in a place called Lake Vyrnwy, which is kind of just the backside of the hill where the park is. The year after that, it was in Rhydderfellin, which is the next forest down from us in the valley, and this year it's come to us. The disease, as well as being able to travel in mud and things like that, it can actually travel on the wind. It's a spore, particularly when you have the sort of hot summers and damp autumns like we've had. It can create quite a virulent sort of strain which can carry on the wind pretty easily, and, you know, which is borne out by that sort of leapfrogging forest each year. It's important to notice that, you know, the entire forest is not infected. A lot of people, particularly if you're coming to the park now, if you look up at it, you'll notice that the Japanese larch is all quite brown and yellow. That's not related to the disease. They lose their needles in the winter. The spruce at the top keep them, so they stay green all year. But the lower part of the hill will drop its needles, and will always do that. There's only been about 4 to 5 trees that have been sort of confirmed as being infected with the disease. It's not actually, you know, they've actually said that they've caught it really early. Unfortunately, because it spreads so rapidly once it's inside of a forest, now we've got it, it's going to spread like wildfire. And unfortunately, the only sort of response to it is you get 1 or 2 trees with it, you cut the whole forest down. We have been issued as a kind of tree health notice. It's a legal order which basically says you have to cut the forest down. It's not an optional thing. And so it's no one's fault. No one's brought it here. It's just one of those things. Like I say, we've known about it for 10 years since we got here that this was a potential. That's why we've sort of maintained the clean bike policy. But I think we've all done our part to stop this from happening. But it's just you can't stop the wind. It's made its way from forest to forest as it has across Wales and across the UK, and unfortunately, it's made it to us.
Obviously, what Tim's just said is all about the Japanese larch, and as people know, we've got mainly two types of trees here. The top section is the Sitka spruce, which is not infected by the disease, and we have not been issued an order to fell it. But unfortunately, the problem we have with that section of forest is that it's actually coming to almost harvest time. We're probably a few years out from it, so the problem that will happen if we don't deal with that now is we will come back from the Japanese larch and replanting all that will start coming back, and we'll just immediately come into having to fell the other half of the hill when we've kind of getting to a point where we're recovering from this. So we don't see we have an option other than to take everything down, so we have a fresh start, so we don't face forestry work continuously for the next X amount of years. We're looking a fresh start, aren't we? So we can keep going for forever and not have to worry about machines driving over our hill every few years. And that's really the decision, ultimately why we've come to the decision to get rid of that.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to what you're saying about the blank canvas idea. We're going to solve this problem once and for all, so the next 30, 40 plus years, this bike park can just run and thrive without, having to deal with these kind of issues, the forestry issues. So, like I say, we're going full hog on this. We are taking everything down. We're rebuilding from the ground up, like I say, with the dream that we can make it bigger and better than it ever's been. Since we did the video the other day, like the outpouring of support, we expected people would be sad and supportive and great as you've always been, but the level has been
mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's caught us even by surprise. And there's been all these amazing kind of people out there who have been offering support and asking what we need and what they can do to help and things like that. And it's one of the things where for us it's a little bit early. We made that first video about a week after we found out, so we're not that far ahead of you in terms of the information. And at this stage, we're partly kind of not ready for a huge amount of support, and we're also not really sure exactly what support we need at this point in terms of like direct help to solve this problem kind of thing. I mean, in my head, a time might come when that kind of support and all of this outpouring is incredibly important. It could make the difference between, at a low level, could make the difference between being a great park and a world-class, amazing park, or it could make the difference between us being able to come back and not come back. And that time may come. I think for now, personally, all I want from everyone is, if you come into the park, enjoy it, ride, have fun, make the most of it. Keep following us on subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, because we are, going to keep putting updates out like this. We want to try and keep people in the loop and keep putting out information. Keep following us on this, and as a time may come when we reach out for support, and anyone who's able to help us, will be much appreciated. But for now, guys, just bear with us and just enjoy what time we got.
Yeah, I think the same as Tim. I believe, the level of support and messages that we've had on, social media and everything has just been insane. Really, the messages we had just through the Insta account that I have, just mind blowing. you know, there was hundreds and hundreds of them, and obviously we haven't been able to get back to most of them, you know, but we really do appreciate that, you know, as made a difference to us. You know, and I do believe, like Tim says, I think, you know, for us to carry on with this and there to be another chapter and it be bigger and better, I feel like there will be a time that we will all need all the support and everything we can get from, you know, the locals around here, the council, you know, mountain bikers worldwide, basically. You know, I feel like it's going to be hard for us to do it just on our own, but, you know, until we know what we need and where we're going, we can't call for any help, can we?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, you know, lots of different offers, you know, like the crowd sort of funding one comes up quite regularly, you know, you know, we're aware how generous you guys are, you know, at this point it's not really a kind of a money thing. We might do something down that line if we think that it, you know, it's something which would be really beneficial to the park. But we're not going to take money from people now, you know, until we have a bit of a clearer steer and a clearer plan as to exactly where we're going and how that money is going to be used and how ultimately that money will come back to giving you guys an amazing riding experience.
Yeah.
So, like I say, keep following us, keep in touch. We're going to try and, like I say, document as much of the stuff that happens over the next year or two, so you guys can follow on the sort of journey and the story as we come back, you know. And like I say, and just don't be strangers, still be friends, and still keep in touch. You know, that's for now how you can support us. By far, the biggest and most common question are getting asked at the moment is, are there any more spaces on the uplift? You know, like the phone rings off the hook, the email rings off the hook. Again, you know, we've in a way been surprised by the level of support. We kind of expected that we would be busy over this period, but you guys have
not to this
not
to this level.
You've filled every space and then some between now and the end. And you know, we're kind of struggling to respond to everyone on that. So you may notice if you send sort of an email to the main emails, you're going to get a sort of automated, sorry, but we can't individually do this, because we are getting dozens and dozens of emails a day and dozens of phone calls a day on that subject. You know, as and when if there are more spaces, we put them out on the website. It's kind of a first come, first serve. It's kind of the only way that we can manage it, unfortunately. There was a suggestion whether we could run 7 days a week to the end. I mean, we currently run 5 days a week, and to be honest, we don't have the staffing or the capacity to run 7 days. And even if we did, there's stuff that needs to happen, like the vehicle maintenance, track maintenance, stuff like that. That there needs to be some buffer each week to actually keep the place running, even week by week. So yeah, like I say, we're pretty much full to the rafters to the end. If you haven't got a space, you're probably not going to get one now, if I'm brutally honest with you. But like I say, it's not the end. You know, a time will come where you can get back here and you can get on this hill. You know, we're confident at that.
Yeah.
So like I say, we're doing our best to get as many people on and give as many people a ride as we can for the end. But we have a limited capacity that we are already overstretching.
Yeah, and you know, the level of support and the bookings that have come in have really will make a difference. Yeah. You know, if we can get through this year without the snow and storms shutting us down, you know, that all them bookings will make a massive difference to us.
Yeah. Yeah, the reality is that, you know, all of these extra bookings, particularly the midweeks, you know, we do midweeks, we do okay numbers normally. They drop off a little bit over the winter, but we are, like, say, rammed to the rafters. Doesn't matter if it's a Wednesday or Saturday, the numbers are the same. You know, if we can make it through clean to the end of the year, that will help a lot, you know, because, you know, not only will we be able to sort of, you know, settle everything that the business needs to settle and take care of everything we need to, but hopefully there'll be a pot there that can go straight into rebuilding. You know, and it means that we don't need to wait for things like, you know, the sale of the timber and stuff like that, which is what's going to fund a lot of the rebuilding. You know, we can hit the hill earlier, and we're more confident that we've got that budget behind us. So it's great. You know, what I'm going to ask though, if in terms of one other thing people can do to support, is please keep your fingers crossed for a mild November, December. obviously, if we get hit with bad weather in December and we end up having to cancel and close weekends, that's going to be a real hit for the business. Also, it's going to be a hit for you guys because there isn't going to be any transfers. Obviously, it's going to be full refund. We're not going to be able to squeeze you onto another day. So please, let's all pray for a mild November and December, so we can run sort of clean every weekend, every day up until right up to the end. There was one specific question, which was simply, are you doing okay?
From Tom Schofield. Big up.
Appreciate it, Tom. But lots and lots of other people have been, just wishing on the best and putting their hearts out for us about, how heartbreaking it must be. The short answer is, Tom and everyone else, is we're doing okay. All right. The last video was obviously very emotional. It's a really tough time for us. If you're coming to the park, you'll probably see me here. Some days I'm up, some days I'm down. It's a bit of a roller coaster emotionally. But we're fine. We've had lots of challenges in this business. We started from nothing and essentially dragged this bike park up to where it is today. That had some pretty tough times along the way, but we're still here. We're still kicking. And so, personally for me, it's been tough. It's been a emotionally tough time, but everything we've said in this video is the underlying emotions that we have. It is, we've had a bit of a kicking, we're down, but we're not out, and we are, we're going to drag ourselves back up, we're going to pick ourselves up, and we're going to, do everything we can to bring this place back, and like I say, or like James said, to surpass where we are now.
Yeah, same for me on a personal level. It's been extremely tough. Shit times. But now I'm looking to the future. Now I'm riding the new 2 mile free ride track in my head. And dreaming up ways of making this place bigger and better. And it is strange times, not knowing where we're going. This place has given me a direction. I've always known what I'm going to be doing next week, what I'm going to be doing 6 months' time, what am I going to be doing next year. I don't have that at the moment. I just have plans, and I hope that we move down this whatever we're in, and it works out that we can go again. So I'm personally a lot better than we were when we first found out, but
an emotion, like I say, it was a real raw emotion time. Like I say, it was only a week after finding out, and we had a lot of difficult conversations to have with people, that obviously weighing on our minds, but as happens, the emotions have sort of calmed down a little bit, and we're just sort of fall into sort of work mode now and trying to make plans and deliver.
Yeah, move forward and see where we go, innit, really.
Yeah, that's it.
The thing that still gets me a bit upset about it is when you talk to people. We've built this park, and me certainly, I've lived in a bubble.
Yeah, in a digger, yeah.
Lived in a bubble in the woods, just digging away with the people I work with. It's only recently that I've become aware of what this place means to people. And a few conversations I've had with people who've caught us when I'm skulking past trying to avoid everyone, I'm trying to hide. It gives us the motivation to come back. One of the things that happened recently was I saw a guy who was riding here from day one. I don't actually, to be honest, really know his name, but I recognise him.
Yeah.
And I saw him with his lad riding here. I saw him getting on the uplift, seeing him riding downhill with his lad, and that really did give me hope for the future, that there is a need for this place.
Yeah.
And
in this crazy world, places like this are important. you know. Like, and I think that the lad and dad thing is something that, you know, it gets me, and it has got me for 10 years, where, you know, those days are the days that that kid and that father will remember, you know. Like, you know, you're not going to remember going to school, you're not going to remember buying an iPhone, you're not going to remember any of that crap. The days you were out with your dad riding, or your mum, or your sister, or your brother, or your partner, whatever it is.
Or your mates.
Or your mates, yeah. Those are the days that mean things in your life, and it's important. And I know for me personally, you know, coming here sort of day in, day out, that's what kind of keeps me going, you know. That's, you know, the joy and the pleasure and the love for the sport that I see here without fail every single day is the thing that sort of makes me come in and makes me keep going, and it's the thing that'll make us want to come back, because we know if we bring it back, and we can bring it back at this level or better, that love will come back to it, you know, and that's so important to us. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully that's provided some more interesting information and answered some of the questions. I'm sure you've got plenty more. We are, as I say, going to be doing a lot more videos. We'd like to, say, fully document and record sort of the entire rebuild and take you all along with that journey. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram. You know, we are hopefully going to grow that channel to a point where it could also be a source of revenue for the park during the rebuild.
Buy some diesel.
Yeah, we'll put it into the diesel tank. So yeah, you know, and we need to get to a certain subscriber level and watch levels for that to happen. So like I say, if you are interested in following the park, please do subscribe, please like the video, and, you know, go back and check out some of our older videos. They're sort of from a different era, but there's some interesting stuff from the sort of past, and you might see some blasts from the past there. So yeah, please follow our content, and yeah, we'll be back later on for another video with some more information.
Chapter 2.